age, give them that confidence, or to express themselves very well at a later stage. And I think at FSM we understand these benefits. It's our vision to make music education available to everyone. We have a structured curriculum to help the child's holistic development. And I just want to quickly present my screen to show what FSM has to offer. So just give me a minute. Um, yeah, is my screen visible?
Yes, Supriya.
Yeah. Yeah, so we started. Furtados is a 150-year-old rich legacy in pan India, all the world, where we deal in the retail instruments. And Furtado School of Music we started in about 2011 with vision to spread quality music education. Today we're tied up with more than 145 schools where FSM has partnered with these schools to take up the music curriculum. It's our own trained teachers, our own curriculum. We have our own centers as well, where students come and learn different instruments at our own setup. We're teaching more than 75,000 plus students today. These are some of the schools that we are tied up with, where we constantly take feedback from the management, from the students, to ensure students are progressing. They're enjoying the kind of curriculum that we have provided them. This is how a typical setup looks like in a school, where at one time a teacher is engaging say 15 to 20 students in spite of different learning capacities, because our curriculum is structured as per that. It's a fun and engaging program for everyone. We have also established performance platforms for students, that is the Bandit and Cadence. So, a child gets that exposure at a very early stage. Normally, you don't have to wait till maybe you're 18 or 21 to get that, live performance experience. We could try to give students this platform at an early stage, so that, they get the exposure of what that performance feels like, helps them develop their confidence. So, we had recently conducted Bandit, which was an inter-school competition, and Cadence, which is more of instrument-specific performance platform. These are some of the recitals that we had done in several schools, lots of performance activities. Um, we've also received several awards and recognition for our curriculum, and this has also been recognized by the NMIMS and Berklee College of Music, which is one of the largest and contemporary colleges in music, largest in the world today. And so FSM students also get credits, if they want to apply for further music studies at the Berklee College. This is where we were in the media, where our curriculum, everything was recognized. Then, with launch of this pandemic and all, we also started our we online teaching program, which is the Learn Buddy. And here we've not just limited to courses in music, but also other right brain activities, your speech, drama, theater, life skills. We have lots of trained teachers on this platform, and we've started training so that students at an early age maybe can get that exposure, and later on maybe pursue if something interests them. This is our social media reach, and these are some of our social media handles. So if you want to know more, you can surely look up, and we can help you facilitate execution of music program in schools, especially when it comes to the NEP 2020. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, Supriya, for sharing how music and how FSM can help in that area. Big thanks. We'll be coming back to you. Now, I would request the last key speaker for this session, Mr. Nitin Nagpal. Nitinji, over to you.
Thank you, Rajul, and thank you every eminent speaker for such a wonderful perspective and thought process. I am really enlightened with the knowledge repository that is being shared with me. Few years back, I happened to saw a teenager. He was wearing a T-shirt, and there was a very wonderful quotation written on the T-shirt. that in my class, I learned how to sleep with my eyes wide open. Now, NEP 2020 has really ignited a fire among all the educationists, and I'm really hopeful and positive that using that fire, we will be able to awaken the student not only from outside but from the inside as well. And NEP 2020 or any education policy of any country, it primarily aims at two things. Number one, education is in its right spirits must reach everyone, even the marginalized section of the society. Number two, citizens of the country are doing the job and work which suits their skills and interest so that they can happily build a stronger and better nation. Now, while choosing our job, we find and look for the job which maps according to the skills that we possess or the interest that we are having. But is the same importance given at the time to the interest and the skills at the time of choosing a career? Unfortunately, not. Now, the question is, are there other scientific ways, better ways of choosing a career than the conventional ways that we are choosing that we are following right now? Yes, and today I'm going to speak on the importance of the scientific methods and ways of choosing a career matching to the aptitude, personality, and interest of a student. And for that, we have come up with a wonderful platform called eMango. I'll be showing you in a while. Now, the answer to the scientific way of choosing the career is the psychometric assessment, where the assessment assesses the aptitude, personality, interests, emotional quotient, emotional intelligence of a students, and matching them suggests the best fit career that is suited for any individual. This psychometric assessment is very widely used in the corporate world and in the MNCs, wherein they scrutinize their job candidates whether the person is fit for the job or not. However, during all these years, this psychometric assessment is not being able to scale up in the field of career counseling. The question is why? There are two reasons. Number one, these psychometric assessments are not age appropriate. Students of age group 14 to 19, they find it very boring to give such text-based psychometric assessment. And after initial 5 to 10 questions, they start giving the answers randomly. So what goes in is garbage and what comes out is eventually a garbage only. And second thing is at times students do not understand the complex language of the question because they're too young, they do not understand the context of the question. In order to take care of these two challenges, we at eMango, we are converting the psychometric assessment for the first time in the world in the career counseling domain into the video game format. We are gamifying them, wherein a student will actually be playing a game, an interesting game, an immersive game, but at the back end, his psychometric assessment would be going on. With each action here that a student, he or she will be performing in the game, he will be answering to the question of a psychometric test. Now, if you allow me to present my screen, I'll just take 5 minutes of yours to take you through our platform. Hope my screen is visible.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So this is our portal eMango, that is Education Management on the Go. There are 4 simple steps that we want that should be followed in order to reach at the epitome of any career. Number one is explore. Students should explore as many careers as, or anyone who is guiding them must explore as many careers as possible. Number two, find the best fit career using the psychometric assessment. What are the best fit for a particular person? Then how to move on the path, how to manage, what are the colleges in India and abroad, what are the scholarships available if you want to pursue a particular course. And after choosing the course, how to reach at the top. I would very quickly like to take you to a student's platform for this. So everything I just mentioned is here. A student can explore a career, wherein if he explores a career, suppose a student is wants to know about ophthalmology as a career, then what are the skills required for this career? What are the future prospects? What are the salaries, starting range and to the higher range? What are the various paths he can take? What are the works that he will do? What are the top colleges that he will find for this career? What are the courses that are available in India across the globe and its course fee? What are the entrance exams? What are the professional growth, entry level, middle level, and senior level? What will be the designation of the student? What will be the industry that he will be working in? What are the further career specialization? Pediatric ophthalmologist, ocular surgeon, professor, lecturer. These are the specialization of any career. Then what are the skills, aptitude, personality, and interest required in order to pursue this career? Whether this career is best fit suited for me or not. What are the current, near future, and long term future? What are the past 3 years job trend? What are the salaries in at various level? Now, once he knows, explores the career, he can find out the best fit career using the psychometric assessment. Now, what are the colleges? If what are the various colleges for any career? Now, these colleges have certain opening and form, opening and closing date, and ranking and fees, etc. Every information is given here. What is the college rank? What is the college world rank? What is the placement? What is the exams that are there for this college? What are the courses that this college is offering? And what are the ranks of the courses? What is the cutoff required and all? A student can shortlist this college, and as soon as he shortlists this college is added into his wish list. Now, anything that is in the wish list of the student, he will get automatic notification for the form opening and closing date and reminders for the opening and closing date. Similarly, he can explore exams across the globe for the various courses and careers. He or she can shortlist the exams. There are also competitive events. Now, there are competitive events in the sports category. What are the competitive events in the sports category across the globe which I can apply to? What are the competitive events in the NTSC, NSO, and Olympiad category? What are the dance and music competitions? What are the arts, drama, and theater competition? Other competition. He can explore all the competition, shortlist the competition, goes into the wish list. Similarly, he can check out what are the scholarships for various colleges and universities available, internships, and everything. Now, what we are trying to achieve is we are trying to make this available through the school's own website, wherein student doesn't have to Google it and waste the time, because Google कहाँ लेके जाता है, जहाँ उसे लेके जाना होता है. और Google पे unauthentic information, agents के trap में ना फंसे. We want that every authentic information should be available from the school's very own website, where student doesn't need to go anywhere. A simple link for this tab can be provided on the school's website. Student, as I said, can shortlist, and whatever he has shortlisted goes into his wish list. Whatever is in the wish list, he'll get the automatic notification for that. And student can connect to, there will be freelance career counselors on the platform. If he is stuck somewhere and wants to speak to the counselor, he can connect to the counselor, just like we order food from Zomato. He can connect to the counselor, although it's not an appropriate comparison with food with the counselor, but yes, he can connect with the counselor and get his doubts clear. We are really short of time. Otherwise, I would have shown you the dashboard for the principals as well. There's a whole management that the principals can do. Principals can see कि उसके हमारे स्कूल का ओवरऑल वर्बल एप्टीट्यूड क्या है, ओवरऑल न्यूमेरिकल एप्टीट्यूड क्या है, मेरे स्कूल में कितने बच्चे आर्टिस्टिक हैं, कितने बच्चे लॉजिकल हैं, कौन सा बच्चा कौन से कोर्स में इंटरेस्टेड है, और किसी बच्चे के प्रोफाइल में जाके चेक कर सकते हैं कि वो किस उसके साइकोमेट्रिक असेसमेंट क्या कह रही है, उसने कौन से कोर्स वगैरह shortlist करे हुए हैं. Rajul, am I out of time or still I have 1 minute?
You have 30 seconds to conclude, sir.
Oh, I will conclude in 30 seconds. नहीं तो मेरे को काट देना बीच में. हाँ. Okay. दिस अ स्कूल डैशबोर्ड. इसका एक काफी अच्छा सेक्शन है माई चैंपियंस करके, तो जहाँ पे हम स्कूल्स के अपने स्पोर्ट्स के चैंपियंस, एकेडमिक्स के चैंपियन, एनटीएससी एनएसओ के चैंपियंस, डांस म्यूजिक के चैंपियन, सब बच्चों को यहाँ मैनेज कर सकते हैं. डांस में अच्छा है, यहाँ पे डाल के रख दें उस बच्चे को. कोई बच्चा अगर म्यूजिक में अच्छा है तो उसको म्यूजिक में डाल के रख दें. सो आई विल नॉट बी एबल टू टेक यू in detail through this dashboard for the principals, but yes, Over to you, Rajat. I think I am able to finish on time.
Thank you, Nitinji, for suggesting how technology can help us in choosing the right career. So, big thanks. And with this, we come to the last part of the session, the questions part. I would request all our key speakers, if I may present you the questions we have received for your comments and perspective. But before I start presenting these questions, I'll just take a minute in explaining what exactly we have been doing at School Lalaji Solutions. I'll share my screen for a minute here, and then I'll start the question part. Some of you are already aware with School Lalaji Solutions. We are India's largest one-stop solution platform for educational institutions. We are present in 42 cities, working with some around 4,500 institutions. We help educational institutions in three ways. We help them in buying right thing for from right people at right price. We also help them in selling their old stuff like their old buses, generators, furnitures. We also help institutions in raising money, that may be in terms of loans or fee financing or some other ways. Why there is a need for a platform like School Lalaji? You already have old suppliers, your team is expert, you believe that you are getting good discount. So why you need a platform like School Lalaji to find right companies for your requirement? In India today we have more than 10,000 educational suppliers in different categories. They have wonderful product and services. They have done a good amount of research about their different features. But it's practically impossible for all these school leaders like Meenakshi ma'am, Khan sir, Bhavna ma'am to meet and interact with everyone. You get a lot of advice, you get a lot of requests every day. So that's one. Second, in most of the schools we also lack the I would say the right set of capabilities to understand all the products in detail or to differentiate between different kind of products in detail. So here we come into picture. We understand your school, we understand your taste, we also understand your actual requirement, your budgetary limitation, and we also have category experts who talk to different companies on daily basis. They understand their background. They also talk to their previous clients to assess their credibility, and we also negotiate with them, and then we connect the right companies after that filtration process with you. We also do negotiation with them. These are different areas where we help educational institutions: smart classroom procurement, uniform, insurance, diesel, solar plant, language lab, security solutions, furniture, recruitment, music classrooms, healthcare, robotics, STEM, STEAM labs, career counseling, stationery, digital marketing, IT solutions, educational tour, generators, learning tools, and finance. And we take the guarantee that we'll save at least your 5 to 7% of your annual expenditure. That's kind of 5% additional revenue generation for your institution. Just one example, we saved 2 crore 40 lakh rupees for different schools in one category, this bus insurance in 2019. Some major highlights: we did 8 megawatt plus solar installation, 3,000 bus insurance. We are perhaps India's largest school bus insurance partner. We also installed 400 plus smart classrooms in 2019, 2,000 plus cameras, 350 plus training programs, 56 old buses. We also installed uniform in 42 schools. And by the end of 2021, we aim to reach out to 10,000 institutions. We need your support, your guidance, your blessings. So I'll end my talk here. I would request, Meenakshi ma'am, if I may present this first question to you. Yeah. So Meenakshi ma'am,
Yeah. Yes.
So ma'am, this question has come from Miss Veena Kumari ji. Veena ji is a PGT political science teacher with Delhi Public School, Kurukshetra. The question says, how can there be teaching without research at higher education level? If teachers are to be updated in their knowledge, research is mandatory. The NEP 2020 will create, she is sharing her perspective that NEP 2020 will create a different category of teachers. One category of teachers would focus on research, and the other, category of teachers would just focus on teaching. Will this categorization help in teaching learning process at different level?
I'll be happy if you'll put me question from the school education
Right. Okay.
instead of higher
Okay.
education.
Okay. No problem. No problem. I'll come back to you. I'll present this one to you. This has been asked from Miss Jyoti. Again from the PGT Commerce from the same school, Delhi Public School, Kurukshetra. The question says, what would be the positive and negative impact of national education policy on rural students and urban students?
Mhm.
Or I'll also add one other part to this, Meenakshi ma'am, because you have the decades of experience. I'm sure you are the right person to answer this. Do you believe that this policy would further create a gap, among the rural students and urban students?
Uh, no, I don't think, because as it is now, the TVs and this digital, this thing has reduced the gap. Now, if two children are coming, suppose for admission, hardly I could know whether he is from a urban area or rural area, because from villages and all, they are so interior in Garhwal and all. We see that they are fully aware of everything. So NEP is not going to do anything for that. This TV and the mobiles have already filled the gap.
Okay.
What I think, because
Right.
earlier the children who were coming from interiors of Garhwal, we could think that we could see from their body language that they were so underconfident, but now it is not so. If you don't know from where they are coming, you can't differentiate them.
Okay. Great.
They are fully aware.
Okay. Right. I'll come back to you, Meenakshi ma'am. I would request Khan sir, if I may present this one to you. This has been asked by Miss Jyoti Madhukar. She's an assistant teacher with Bob Pryman International School, Pune. The question says, how this NEP 2020 will deprive the poor of education. What are your assessments, sir?
No, I think ma'am needs to reword the question. The NEP 2020, I feel, is a great facilitator. This document has put up.
Maybe there was some typing error during
Yeah.
when she was typing the question. So if you can highlight, Khan sir, two key points from policy, that how it helps the poor students to get that.
That's what we are stressing at as part of equitable and inclusive education. Inclusive education has been given a lot of importance by way of providing infrastructure, facilities, tutors to the underprivileged, the minority, the SEDGs, the socio-economic disadvantaged groups. That's what has been catered for. The other aspect is education, as we all are aware, is a concurrent subject. The state governments, and of course, the central government is providing the guidelines, the policies, and very many times the availability of funds. So state governments play a very important role in building up the infrastructure. So that's how the poor communities or the poor people or the they are being looked after. They have been catered for in that NEP 2020, this chapter 6, which caters for all this. So that's been taken care of. We have to wait and watch the implementation in the right spirit. That's
right, sir. Right, sir. Thank you. I'll come back to you. I would request Bhavna ji, if I may present this one to you. This has been asked by Miss Archana Goyal. She's a HOD Visual Arts with Genesis Global School, Noida. The question says, as per national education policy, the schools collaborate or tie up with professionals for internship or experience. Are the students allowed to work with other professionals of their choices?
See, what I feel now, like when we are focusing on vocational education implementation, right now also into our CBSE curriculum, there is field tours concept. So this is already getting implemented. Somehow we need to even bifurcate our evaluation pattern where we will be given equal importance to both of it, so that we can give even this integration as a this integration will be also there, and even we can focus on our curriculum too. And even if you allow me, the first question which was there for a researcher, will you please repeat that?
Right. The question says, are we going to see two kind of categories among teachers?
Yes.
One kind of teachers who are willing to research, and a second who are just willing to teach.
Yes, yes. So what I feel is, if we can have 60 plus 40 ka combination, which we are having 80 and 20 ka combination. So if we can have 60% 60% weightage for theoretical and 40% is to be given for research, even for students. So that combination will work out, because then for every subject, for every teacher, it will become the mandatory part to implement for. So this is the way where we can go for the solution of it.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Bhavna ji. Meenakshi ma'am, I'll come back to you with the second question. I would request, this has been asked by Priyanka Gupta. She's a Spanish teacher with the Genesis Global School, Delhi. The question says, are we going to see a different kind of admission criteria from sixth grade onwards for students' admission? Meenakshi ma'am.
Different criteria for admission?
Right, ma'am. For sixth grade onwards students.
No, it will be same. Why we'll have it?
Okay, because a lot of people apprehend that till fifth standard English is not mandatory, or like you have to teach in the local language. So
Okay. It will create a problem, because there may be many children who are coming from the schools where regional language is the main language. So yes, that will be a problem, because in class 6, if it depends on the school to school what type of language they are using from class 6 onwards. So that will have a problem. Yes.
Right, sir. Right, ma'am. Thank you. I'll come back to you. I would request Khan sir, if I may present this one to you. This one has been asked by Mr. Madhur Gupta. Madhurji is a principal with Genesis Global School, Noida. The question says, how to align the school curriculum with higher education, without much of gaps, which ensures the younger generation job security in the field of interest. I've also shared the question in the chat box.
As I have understood, the school curriculum has been diversified. There are no streams. I would say rather there are multi choice of subjects in the higher classes is permitted under NEP 2020. So it is the student's choice. He can have a traditional art subject with a science subject and mathematics. Like that combination is permitted, and higher education is the one which will guide him further to choose his profession. So the mentorship, the teachers, his school will guide him, his counselor will guide him, will tell him, and he also has to factor in his choices. That multiple choices are permitted, unlike the traditional method which was ongoing and which we have undergone. So like that, in fact, NEP 2020 provides that, and it will surely facilitate better choices, and the student will be able to pick up those subjects which will lead him on to a profession of his choice.
Right. Thank you, sir. Now I would request Bhavna ji, if I may present this one to you. This question has come from Ms. Jyoti Vash. She's a PGT with the Man School, Delhi. The question says, how NEP will justify or will do justice with the students having high IQ and students having low IQ?
See, I feel like this question means this is the challenge which we are facing right now also, because every child is unique and we need to just wear their shoes, and then we need to analyze the situation, how they will understand or not. So it is the ability of teacher who just check the face of student and understand whether he is grasping it or not and whether he will perform the things or not. So accordingly, we can have various analysis like we do for our students, SWOT analysis and all. So likewise, we need to bifurcate students and we need to give them then extra classes and all the things what we are doing right now. So it will be the challenge because there will be a combination of subject. There will be even the limitation that students are taking that much or not, or even the faculties we need to hire for different subjects. There will be so many challenges with all these things. But this is what where the teacher performs their role and analyze the situation and implement it. So it will come for it.
Absolutely, absolutely. Teachers training.
Excuse
Yes,
me.
ma'am.
They are
Yes, ma'am.
putting it in the syllabus of B8 classes. For the teachers
Right.
training, they are adding this portion. So they are
Yes,
giving training to the teachers for that.
teachers training. Absolutely.
This is in
Right.
their curriculum.
Well, this
Thank
is there
you.
in the curriculum, so that is the teachers training is the key, and like what
And
Bhavnaji
teachers
said.
will be taught how to tackle with such children.
Right, right. So I'll come back to you. But before I have one question for Nitinji. Nitinji, this has come from this flexibility of subjects. This NEP has offered a flexibility in terms of choosing subjects for 11 students. So how do you see like how big confusion it would create for students? In terms of choosing their future careers.
Initially, yes, but some light on this has already been thrown by Khan sir. Initially, yes. Suppose मैंने physics, chemistry और arts का एक subject ले लिया, अब course कौन सा करूँ? The good part is that the reforms are not only till the school level, the reforms are at the higher level as well. There'll be certainly more courses which will cater to such students, and there'll be platform like ours which will come forward to solve this confusion. Like in our platform, you can choose the subject, physics, chemistry, and say music. You'll get to know, it'll filter it out. It's a simple filter thing. It'll filter it out कि कौन से courses आप कर सकते हो. The confusion is not this. ये तो बहुत जल्दी solve हो जाएगा. The real confusion is मेरे लिए क्या सही है इसमें से. It's not like कि मैं क्या कर सकता हूँ. It's like what is best suited for me. This is the confusion that needs to be addressed. Hope that solves your query.
Right. One very interesting. Thank you, Nitinji. One very interesting question has come to the session. This has been asked by Ms. Poonam Shivale. She's an assistant teacher with Symbiosis Junior College, Pune. And I would take the comments, from Meenakshi ma'am and Khan sir on this. The question says, what are these steps to improve leadership quality, in daily routine? So it's kind of a unique thing, a unique question. Meenakshi ma'am, if I may request you for your comments.
Okay.
How teachers can
Actually
improve
the
their
schools
leadership
are
quality?
doing.
Haji?
Actually the schools are doing that. Like in the school also they have the group discussions. They have so many things which are done in the groups. So that teaches the leadership qualities. And we have seen that the children who are best in these groups, they are becoming good leaders.
No, that is what these are the suggestions where the schools are already implementing those kind of, they are providing that kind of leadership environment. For example, if I ask you, because you both, Meenakshi ma'am and Khan sir, you both are, the established leaders. So if you would like to suggest some teacher, some I would say two advice, so that he or she can improve his or her leadership quality.
Mm-hmm.
So,
for teachers
Meenakshi
or
ma'am.
for students? For
Teachers.
For teachers to improve their leadership quality.
Right, ma'am.
Okay.
without expecting any support from the school.
Okay. First thing is they should take any problem and they should decide and they should try to solve the problem. First thing is in the leadership is to improve, to find the ways and means to solve any problem. And then if you want in the school also can do it, that we should give the different type of duties in rotation, because there are few teachers who don't come up, and they don't they are very good, but they don't come up for anything. But if these type of responsibilities are given in rotation, like in assembly, or these type of responsibilities if given, and if they take them, they can improve this quality. But children, I can tell you, children, within 3-4 months, if you give them group discussions and work in groups, they become very good leaders. But teachers, because they are little, um, because they consider them as teachers, so they don't like to improve. But we have seen that not too many, but many teachers, they improve. But
Absolutely.
they should be given responsibility. Only
Absolutely.
then.
Absolutely. And they must prove themselves to the before the school leadership that they are worthy of those responsibilities. So these are the golden words.
May I, sir? May I?
I'm coming to you, sir. I'm coming to
Yes,
you.
yes.
These are the golden words from a legendary teacher and educator, from Meenakshi ma'am. Now I would request another veteran, another leader, Mahmood sir. Mahmood sir, what are your piece of advice to those teachers?
Yes, yes. Like we all know, it all starts from the home, the parents, the grooming and upbringing, and the education. So, all teachers are teachers, of course, granted, but they are not equally good or equally bad. They are all qualified theoretically. They need to practice more. And teachers का जो head teacher है, let's take the example of a headmaster or a headmistress, the principal. Follow the leader. The leader himself has to be good and set an example to the other teachers. Discipline, punctuality, dress, turnout, his language, attitude. All these are the attributes of a good leader. And the teacher, the staff, they have undergone this training process while they were students. So they need to rework it out. And the principal or the head of the institution, yes, like Meenakshi ma'am brought out, group discussions, tasking, individual tasks, group tasks, at times counseling and guidance, and they will come up. वो सीख जाएंगे and they will come up. That's how we can instill. And if required, there are special courses and special facilities available, teachers training institutes, where the leadership qualities are taught and can be instilled. Like we do it in the army also. We have various courses and programs for junior leaders, senior leaders. The qualities are there. They may be latent. They have to be brought about by giving that person an opportunity to show it and to express it. That's
Right.
how I look at it.
Right. So if I summarize, suggestions from like ideas from Meenakshi ma'am and Khan sir, if I summarize into 4 simple steps, and I would say it is I would say valid for every professional. The first, always seek for more responsibilities without expecting rewards. Second, always get more and more expertise in your particular subject. Third, always observe. Observe your leaders, your seniors. Observing is a great skill, and we need to learn that skill, and we need to then master that skill. And fourth, again, like try to explore. In that process, there could be any mistakes, and then you must have that confidence to overcome and accept those things. So that process, you would become better and better on daily basis. So thank you. With this, we come to the end. Bhavna ma'am, we did not come to you because the question came from your school only. So with this, we come to the end of this wonderful session. But before we end this session, I would request our key speakers if we can have your concluding remark. And we have also established one very interesting practice, that while sharing your concluding remark, if you can also share some idea, some thought that you would like to implement at any cost if you get a chance to become Minister of Education for one day of our country. So what would be that idea that you would like to implement? So I'll come to you randomly. I'll begin with Nitin Nagpal ji. Nitin ji, if I may ask you for your concluding remark, and what would be your idea to implement if you get a chance to become Minister of Education of our country for one day?
I will answer the second question first. If I get the chance to become the Minister of Education, I would like to pass a bill in one day, if that is possible, so that any educationist with a minimum year of 20 years of experience should be the minimum eligibility to become the Minister of Education. People like Khan sir, Bhavna ma'am, Meenakshi ma'am, they should be brought forward for the role. This is the answer to the second question. And I would love to see one of them being the education minister one day, very soon.
Right. हो सकता है बिल पास होने से पहले फिर आपको अपनी गद्दी छोड़नी पड़े क्योंकि पहले माफी हो जाए उस बिल के. Right. Thank you, Nitin ji, for that wonderful thought. We all agree with you that education must be run by educationists because they understand the pain, they understand the challenges, better than anyone else. So thank you, Nitin ji. Now I would request Bhavna ji, if I may ask you for your concluding remark, and what would be your idea if you get a chance to become Minister of Education?
Yes. So it will be like a dream of many will come true when an educator will become a minister itself. What I always feel is when you will participate in anything, you will get that responsibility and belongingness, and then you will do the magic. So this is what I feel with my concluding remark. And if I will be education minister, first which I feel from my childhood itself, एक दिन जब मैं मिनिस्टर बनूंगी सबसे पहले ये रिजर्वेशन सिस्टम में कुछ चेंजेस लाऊंगी. But this is not the platform where I can say about all these things. But yes,
share your thoughts.
So this is what when I from my childhood itself I was saying like there need to be some revision into this. But when we come to the educationalist, definitely there are so many senior members who will be adding towards the system, and definitely it will change. I hope for the best. If I will become education minister, the first thing which I will do is I will reach to unreached. That is the only thing which I would like to do. Because the place from where I belong, I'm in Pune, but my hometown is in Vidarbha. You must be aware about Gadchirli area, that is Naxalite area, tribal area. So there I was for 4 years, and I was having a project of Namanki Shala Prakalpa, which is of Maharashtra government, and we have designed special curriculum for those students, and I trained them for 4 years. So I know the pain of what they are having. So my aim will be that one only, to reach the unreached. Thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you. We all hope that you become a Minister of Education one day to execute that. Thank you, Bhavna ji, for sharing your remarks. Now I would request Meenakshi ma'am. Meenakshi ma'am, if I may request you for your concluding remark, and what would be your idea if you get a chance to become Minister of Education?
The best answer Mr. Nitin has given, that should be there. And plus all the people who are working in education department, that should also be from the they should have a good education and transparent people. That I want, because not only the minister and all these people who are in the education department, and in NEP, if you want any change, then the change should be that education department should not interfere in the working of a school, because what we all are facing here in Uttarakhand, there is too much interference and bad impact they are having on the schools.
Absolutely. So more
Thank you.
autonomy of. In fact, a lot of educators during our previous session have also raised this point that this policy lack in that area. It is not offering more autonomy, which is very much required for especially
Yes,
private
from
education institutions.
from last 2-3 years, it has been now reached to the limit.
Right.
Schools are not able to work.
Absolutely, and it is the same, ma'am. Everywhere we work with the schools across country, so we see that the pain is same, for in every state, in every district. Now, one is central education is interfering. then state level ministry is interfering, then district level administrative, DEOs and other people, they are also sending circulars.
And they are the
yesterday-
worst. They are the worst. Because
Right,
they are
right.
just on your head. Every now and then they are entering the schools.
Just yesterday only I got a circular. I received a circular and I saw that. I got an opportunity to read that. So that circular said that all these schools in the district are ordered, to visit DO office tomorrow to discuss that, fee pending, which that, section of like what we call it, 14, or that free education.
Okay.
So
They and
discuss
they are
that.
not giving you any time. Within half an hour, you should reach there.
Absolutely.
And
It
there,
was such a tough
the meeting
language.
will
It was such
start
a tough
2 hours
language.
late.
Absolutely. You're writing to school directors and principals and you're saying like you're ordered to present tomorrow, to visit tomorrow.
A
our
very,
office,
very harsh language they use.
very harsh language, and to discuss that part. मतलब और आप discuss करने के लिए, we all know that DO doesn't have that power to discharge that amount, but again that is
I'll
happening
tell you
everywhere.
one incident. The Bala Yog and the this education department, those two people have invited principal. There were 400 principals sitting, and they could not keep their head up. It was so insulting. And everybody was so upset that they were thinking that we should close the schools. So that is the way now they are acting.
Absolutely. That needs to be changed, and that needs urgent attention.
That should be in NEP because that is the main policy.
Yes, absolutely. Many other educators have also highlighted that NEP is not talking about that area. Right. Thank you, Meenakshi ma'am, and thank you, ma'am. And now I would request Mahmood sir, we would like to end the session with your concluding remarks. Also, I would request you, what would be your priority if you get a chance to become Minister of Education with an additional charge of Defense Ministry? You are on mute, sir.
That's a very good question. Firstly, about the educators and teachers. I personally feel my own experience and having heard the August gathering and the experience, they need to be looked after, maybe monetarily also. India is a great country, and the dimensions are such, length and breadth. We need to take education and that too to each and every corner of the country. Who's going to do it? Schools, colleges, universities, which are manned by the teachers, the educators. They need to be equipped, trained, and looked after, as I brought about. Yes, our society is such. Monetary benefits are a great incentive. They shouldn't feel neglected. The pay scales, the facilities, the perks. There might be one or two odd cases, but yes, educator lot, the teacher lot needs to be looked after and provided all the facilities. And I am sure the educationists and the teachers in the gathering will agree with me. The second aspect, education is a great tool for achieving social justice and equality. We need to propagate that. We need to look after the quantity and quality of education being provided to our students. Students are the young building blocks of our great nation. So, given that honorable task of manning the education minister thing, we have to work on this. That's how the nations come up, they develop once the education is looked after. And I would say we have seen it. Education starts from home, and amongst the parents, I would feel mothers have a very important and a very naturally inbuilt role in that. So, to this extent, I will go. We need to have a lady education minister. Thank you.
Wonderful, sir. So you have secured 50% votes in the country, for the next round of elections. So thank you. Mahmood sir, for that wonderful remark. We all agree with you. I also thank all the key speakers today. Meenakshi ma'am, Bhavna ma'am, Mahmood sir, Nitin Nagpal ji, Supriya Jadhav Rao ji, and all the other participants, who had been with us during the session, for making this 112th session truly special. Once again, big thanks to all of you. We'll end the session here. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Bhavna.
Good day.
Thank you.
Bye bye.